So, funny story. So, I was going through Twitter and I came across this tweet from what I thought was a retweet of a tweet from Olivia Rodrigo, who supposedly done an interview with the Daily Mail talking about video games. And she talked about how she loved Mortal Kombat as one of the video games that she's played, and she really liked Jackie Briggs, the character, and wanted more characters like that in video games. So, I took it as an opportunity to want to have a discussion because in a previous video I did about Mortal Kombat, the movie, a sequel to that movie, where what fans had said they wanted, they talked about having more female characters, more characters of color. And so I thought, well, these things kind of go hand in hand, because if her favorite character is Jackie Briggs, who's African American, is a female, those things, should be, built upon. So I thought this tweet was legit, and it ended up not being legit. My bad. It happens. But I still wanted to make the video because I think the video still has a good message about what Mortal Kombat maybe should add, because as I was diving into this and doing some little research, I found some things that, maybe need to be addressed for the future. So let's get to the video. Characters in there. And I actually touched on this a little bit when I did a video on what fans are requesting for the new sequel to the Mortal Kombat movie that just came out, because a lot of the requests that I kind of compiled and discussed in that video, I'll link that down below, and I'll try to put a card up. A lot of fans were talking about how they would want to see more actors of color, more female characters portrayed in a live-action movie for Mortal Kombat. Because other than Sonya Blade, and then we got Melina, and then briefly Natara, aside from Cole Young's wife and daughter, we didn't have a whole lot of female characters, and we didn't really have any characters of color other than Jax, and then, of course, most of the Asian actors, which you would think that would be enough, but I mean, and in the movie it kind of worked out because it's, more Asian based with the martial arts, that worked out. But when you go over to the video game side, well, what's interesting is for Mortal Kombat 11 Ultimate, that's the final roster so far, still holding out for Combat Pack 3, I tallied it up and we have 12 female characters and we have 25 male characters. That's quite a bit of a difference. And I'm not saying that we need to have 50-50 split. I know that some people are like, well, Justin, we don't need to have totally equal. I know some people out there will say that because, to be honest, I know that a lot of people, and it's probably true, if you look at the demographics for Mortal Kombat, the majority of the players for Mortal Kombat are probably male. Just like, they're probably the same kind of representation for gamers in general, and probably on streamers, on Twitch, stuff like that. I mean, I'm not going to get into all of that, but I know that we have females playing more video games. They want to see more representation in the games that they're playing. They want to see more characters that they have to play with. So 12 characters seems like a lot, but maybe they could add like a couple more. Now, piggybacking onto that, more characters of color in the video game. So of what I really consider characters of color, we have Jackie Briggs, her dad Jax, and then I believe Jade, in this, not the Remnant version, but the other version. I think she's also a character of color. I'm not really sure what ethnicity she is, though. I'm guessing South Asian. So, Indian maybe she could be like Muslim, or Arabic, maybe she could be something like that. But those are really the ones I come up with. I know that people are like, well, there's Shiva, but I don't know if she's really a character of color per se. I think it's kind of cheating a little bit. She's a totally different race. I think strictly human, Earthrealm, those kind of things. You can have people from Outworld. I think that's more characters of color. I know there's some Asian characters also thrown in there. So I think you could also mix those. I think Liu Kang and Shang Tsung, and there's maybe a few others that could be considered that. But overall, there's just not a whole lot of representation in that bracket. I think that could grow and be more. Maybe you could also, maybe gender bend some characters. You could race bend some characters. I think that would work, and I think that fans maybe would want that, and that maybe could appeal to more to more players and attract more players to the franchise. And lastly, we also have, LGBTQ, hope I'm saying that right, representation. I know that it gets teased a lot in the story for like Melina, where we have, Melina and Tanya obviously being in a relationship and having a baby to be the heir to the Khan throne for Melina. So they tease a lot of that stuff, but they don't ever just come out and, right out and say it. Now, I know that some fans were probably like, well, Justin, they don't want to label a specific character, because if they do that, that completely takes them out for future storylines for, whatever. But I think when it comes like Melina, do we really think that Melina is going to be in a relationship with some other male character? I mean, does that seem like her type? I think that Melina and Tanya have been teased enough from, you know, Mortal Kombat X to Mortal Kombat 11. Obviously now with her story, you know, her winning story, you know, storyline. I think it's been teased enough and confirmed, basically, without saying it, you know, flat out. I think that's something we should see. So I think that those three things I think people want to see more of. I think that I feel like a while back I was reading that they were saying that Garrus, they were trying to make Garrus gay or something like that. I don't know. I feel like I read that somewhere. It's been a long time, but I feel like I've seen that somewhere. I don't know if that was ever going to work out, but there's something you could do with that. So I think you can have representation across the board for many things. Those are my thoughts on that. Let me know in the comments what you think about the Mortal Kombat games in the future, having more characters of color, more female characters, potentially more LGBTQ characters. I'll love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. And that's it for this video, guys. If you enjoyed, hit that like button. More like this one, make sure you subscribe to the channel. And I'll see you guys next time on the Mashup.